Costco also opened its new West Roseville store on Fittiment and Baseline Roads back in January. The location has a gas station and a car wash. And in February 2026, Sutter Health started seeing patients at its new urgent care center. Sutter Health officials said the West Roseville location was intentionally placed to serve rapidly growing neighborhoods. For people living in West Roseville, all of this growth comes at a price. It's something they say that they're paying for every time they pull out of their driveway. ABC 10's Becca Habegger shows us what the city is doing to deal with traffic.
Hi! Wait, hang on. Let's make sure you look okay.
Gina Mertz, her husband, and their dog Sasha moved into a brand new home in one of West Roseville's Sierra Vista neighborhoods in the fall of 2021. Neighbor Stan Taylor moved in around the same time.
The only thing better than new car smell is new house smell.
This neighborhood checked every box for these two. Gina and her husband work in Placer County. They moved from Carmichael in part for a shorter commute. Stan moved from nearby Rockland looking for a single-story home close to his work.
This neighborhood was available and looked kind of nice, and the prices were right.
But in the 4+ years since they've moved in, they've watched West Roseville change around them, and fast.
It's a little unnerving when you see the amount of growth. The growth has gone way out past Watt Avenue now on Baseline. And so it's pretty tremendous.
With all that growth, new housing development, new retailers, comes traffic. The main arteries of West Roseville, Blue Oaks Boulevard, Pleasant Grove Boulevard, and Baseline Road east to west, and Westbrook Boulevard, Fittiment Road, and Wood Creek Oaks Boulevard north to south, have gotten noticeably more congested.
Fittiment and Pleasant Grove is pretty bad. And in the mornings, Baseline and Fittiment is pretty bad.
I definitely feel like they kind of put in homes and maybe starting to put in some of the commercial buildings maybe before the roads were fully developed.
The city of Roseville says it hears those concerns and is working on them.
It's characteristic of any rapidly developing city like Roseville for traffic to be of concern.
Stephanie Keeman is the city's Assistant Director of Public Works.
What the city's done well is planned for those future developments at build-out, and so we have to be responsive to the development as it occurs. Where are the traffic mitigation needs?
She says funding plays a big role on timing. In 2016, a county-wide half-cent sales tax ballot measure to fund road improvements, Measure M, failed by less than 3%. It needed 2/3 approval to pass. And in 2024, a similar effort, but just for the cities of Roseville, Rockland, and Lincoln, Measure B, also failed by the same margin.
We are always on the lookout for opportunities to procure state and federal grant funding that's available. And we did procure some grant funding for the Blue Oaks widening that's in design right now.
And Congressman Kevin Kiley recently announced he secured $1 million to install traffic signals and widen the roadway along Baseline Road, a project in Placer County to the west of Roseville city limits, but one that will improve commute times for many people living in West Roseville. Kiley also secured more than $22 million last year to widen Highway 65 in Roseville between Blue Oaks Boulevard and Galleria Boulevard. But in most cases, road projects in growing parts of the city are funded almost entirely by developer fees, also known as impact fees.
Each developer pays based on housing unit for what that specific impact, the traffic impact that their development causes. So they're all paying their fair share. Based on the actual mitigation needed for their specific project.
A so-called nexus study determines how much a developer's plans will impact public infrastructure and charges them accordingly. And the city says it can't start making those improvements until it collects the developer fees to pay for them.
The city has several traffic mitigation construction projects in the works, and many that are already done. For example, last year, the city finished widening Pleasant Grove Boulevard.
That helped a little bit with flow and wasn't quite as backed up.
We are aware of what's coming, and we are being proactive and responsive to address those needs as quickly as we can with the resources available.
Roseville also has an intelligent transportation system with cameras at every traffic signal in the city, sending live video to the city's traffic operations center to speed up traffic flow.
And a full-time staff person, they can flush areas of traffic as a concern specifically arises, and we can see it back at the office.
Of course, the bigger picture extends beyond city limits. Matt Click is the executive director of the Placer County Transportation Planning Agency.
One of the things about road construction is it takes a long time. There is an entire environmental permitting process that they have to go through. That can take 2 or 3 years. They have to do the actual physical design, acquire necessary right-of-way, and then go into construction. So the moment you think, boy, we might need more lanes, it could be 8 to 10 to 12 years later.
He points out Placer County is one of the fastest growing counties in California for good reason, and more traffic might be a worthwhile trade-off, he says.
This is a place where young California families can buy a house and raise their family without having to move, if that means a lot of people are attracted. And instead of waiting for, 3 minutes, they have 5 minutes of delay. Is that the worst thing in the world?
Back in the neighborhood, Gina says she knows the responsibility cuts both ways.
It's also our responsibility to do our part, and if we don't need to be out during commute time, we schedule and do our lives in a way that's more conscientious.
For now, both neighbors say they're not going anywhere. They still love the community, the neighborhood, the single-story homes they moved here for. They just want the roads to catch up. In West Roseville, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.